At long last, the man himself has finally joined the Porterverse Workbench. I am very proud to finally be showcasing my model of Goober Henry. If you've been watching my channel for quite some time now, you know that I've been wanting to make Goober Henry for quite some time now. Many of you have been asking about him for a while now, and I don't blame you. This has been a long time coming. Here's the thing though. As far as I'm aware, Push Along Henry has been out since the fall of 2022. It is currently December 2023 and he still hasn't hit the shelves here. My local Walmart, I shit you not, only just got Push Along Emily this month. And the Thomas aisle is absolutely pitiful, you know? Quite the fall from grace. I was only able to actually find Push Along Henry because a friend of mine actually sent me an Amazon listing back in September. I bought it pretty much immediately and it finally arrived around October. This is when it got to work. But I'm getting ahead of myself, of course. If you've seen this series before, you'll know that before we go into the build process, we should dive into the backstory of the model. So sit back, relax, and now we shall dive into the backstory of Goober Henry. Like all of the other Goobers, it all began on an unknown railroad in the United States, during the prime of Day Out with Thomas events in the early 2000s. This one railroad constructed several dummy units of the characters, including Henry. Things would go well for the railroad until it shut down in 2002. The dummy units for Henry, Gordon, and James were sold to a theme park, while the other units went elsewhere. The Gordon and Henry units were given new motorized chassis to pull trains on the park. The Henry unit was prioritized more and was given more of a design flair, and is thus more popular with enthusiasts. The theme park company opened a new location in 2011, and thus closed the original location in 2012, and thus the whole site was left abandoned, including the dummy units. A few years later, in 2014, Thomas himself would actually discover the dummy units of Gordon and Henry while on tour in 2014. Thomas's crew would take note of it before continuing on their transcontinental tour of the United States. Since the unit was actually left in a shed as opposed to being outside, it is believed that the Henry unit is in a better condition and still around today. That is where Goober Henry is today, just remaining abandoned, chilling in the shed at an old theme park. The building of Goober Henry was relatively easy. Like all the Goobers that came before him, he was using the all-engine push-along variant of the same character. I took the body apart and removed the paint from the metal part using a very strong paint stripper. Important note, when you're using the paint strippers, only throw in metal materials. Do not throw in any kind of plastic, no matter how strong it may seem to be, as this type of stuff will actually melt the plastic. And always be careful to wear proper protection like gloves, goggles, and stuff, because it can burn your skin. After the old paint was removed, I primed each part of the body in a flat white primer. And like all spray paints, always let each coat of spray paint dry for at least a full day before doing anything else. And after it was dry, I sprayed each part of the body in their respective colors. So green for the boiler, purple for the cab, white for the roof, silver smoke box, etc, etc, etc. Next came work for the chassis. I used an old bogey I had lying around, and I did a lot of cutting on the engine's running board to make sure it was a nice fit. After aligning it perfectly, I made sure to glue it down. Now it came for these smoke deflectors. These are made using just some index card and toothpicks. And after all that body work, I gave the whole model a matte clear coat. And after another day of drying, Goober Henry was finally complete. I am so happy to have this little guy in the collection now. The Goober Henry is finally complete. Yes, you heard that right. That Henry's the last Goober. But no need to worry, as there are more similar models in the works that are going to be in their own little separate league. But that's a story for another day. Thank you all very much for watching this episode of Porterverse Workbench, and I shall see you all in the next one.